It started with a connection to Reiki. It was Reiki. Someone gave me a few sessions, and I got spontaneous remissions on my sinusitis that was very, very strong and chronic back pain. That completely eased after 3 sessions. I woke up with this incredible stream of light that I didn't know who it was, but it was my inner being connecting to me. Then I started to do a lot of mindful practices like martial arts, Qigong, Tai Chi. Everything happened in Ireland. It was one of the most powerful stays. Then through the practice, through breath and movement, my chi starts to get stronger and stronger, and then eventually this pure beingness emanates. Some people came back to me and I never understood, but they really completely changed their career paths after that.
It increases their creativity, productivity,
more life force, energy, and their vitality.
So they live longer, yes. They live healthier,
yes.
Without going to
Longevity.
Doctors. Yeah. How do people who are so ingrained in the consumption cycles, living in these big cities, working corporate gigs, how do they cultivate this?
I think coming out of their comfort zone and traveling to places like Indonesia and Bali and places where there's a lot of there's possibility to transform. It's like really integrating more presence in their daily lives. Just dedicating yourself 10 minutes a day, devoting yourself to that, can make a huge difference.
We are here live and recording in person. We need to get used to looking at each other because the camera is there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like a normal conversation. So, Javier, my friend, welcome on Raw and Unfiltered. The first white person on this, and we're doing this physically live, you and me live. It will be shown later, but we're in Amed in Bali with Mount Agung, our volcano, and this is physically together. And how do you feel? Because I don't know what I feel.
Feel very grounded and rooted in this land of Amed.
Yeah, so I've been here also almost 3 months, and you're one of the first people I met here, my first friends in Amed. And there are many things about you that are so interesting in the material world, that you work with so many different modalities and people and retreats and cacao ceremonies, and also other different modalities of spirit and matter. You've been living in Bali for how many years now?
9 years already.
9 years in Bali and 3 years in Amed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been living in Amed 3 years, which is one of the most sacred lands of Bali. For me, it has been a revolutionary time being here. So much birthing, so much transformation, creation. You have seen parts of that.
I have, and it was incredible to observe this process for you, which rippled in me as well, because it resonated so much. And the whole grounding aspect of Mount Agung, that's power, has really helped us to accelerate in our own evolution.
So let's add. Balinese have considered this mountain as the universal central point, universal for thousands of years. In Agama Hindu philosophy, which is the Balinese, they follow that, which is a combination of Hinduism, Buddhism, animism, shamanism, and ancestor worship, a very complex, delicate, simple, beautiful system of knowledge that they have preserved for thousands of years. And on that ground, they call this volcano / stratovolcano, an active one, a Shiva. They pray it as Shiva, which is the Hindu god of transformation and destruction from Vedantic system. And over on the volcano itself, one of the most revered temples of Bali is built, which is named after a dragon. This is so wild. Which is named after a dragon, which is a spirit they pray to, and they believe the fire inside the volcano that is always active and in movement with the sea and the land and all of that. They call it the Basuki dragon. And based on this dragon, the main temple, which is called Baisakhi Temple, which has all three deities of India and their consorts, Shiva, Vishnu/Narayan, and Brahma. So transformation, preservation, and creation, and their consorts, Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati in this temple, one of the holiest temples of Bali and in the world for Hindus around the world. Actually, even in India, people know about this temple. And this is compared by Buddhists, this site is compared by Buddhists even to Kailash mountain in Tibet, which is where Shiva lives, a very sacred site for both Hindus and Buddhists. This mountain is being compared to a mountain in South India called Tiruvannamalai, which is where also strong, esoterically or Hindu traditions have believed it's the body of Shiva, a fire energy, and also a great saint Ramana Maharishi from India comes there. This energy has also been compared to the Andes mountain range of Machu Picchu and that area, where the energy is also very strong, and also some of the Himalayan regions underneath Kailash, where the energy is also very strong, like Kasar Devi, which is also directly connected to Andes, is part of this energetic chain. They're called like ley lines, geomagnetic energies of the earth. And this location is one of those locations. And Balinese have known this for thousands of years. So now we come back to the initial question of Mount Agung with Xavier about his stories with this volcano/mountain, the sacred site, and what is his connection, his personal connection, not based on even if you know nothing about this. If you came first time on the land and you've been living in here 3 years, what have you felt that you can share with like people around the world who may not even understand the energetic system, but as an energy of experience, they would be like, wow, this sounds very interesting. How would you bring this into what comes to you when I say all of this?
Well, my practices as a Qigong teacher and practitioner, and all my health holistic services, they became more precise, and as well in honing energy, cultivating the Qi, it became so much more tangible, because that connection to the land here and to Mount Agung as a very prominent, defined, dominant force. So I felt that mostly.
Can you share more about Qigong, the aspects of Qi, the originations of Qigong? How does it play in your life for your own practice and evolution first, and your journey with it? How did it start? All of this stuff. And when did you start teaching it? And when you teach it, what are you really focusing on it as a modality to be helping people? And then how, please expand also on your other holistic services that you are doing daily life with people, sharing different things and kind of bringing them into further alignment for themselves.
Mm-hmm. It started with a connection to Reiki, which was experienced in Ireland. I lived there for a long time, for 15 years, and Ireland has been one of the also really, really strong points in the world where.
So it started with Reiki, your Qigong.
Reiki, yeah.
Oh, really?
It was Reiki. Someone gave me a few sessions, and I got like spontaneous remissions on my sinusitis that was very, very strong, and then chronic back pain that completely eased after 3 sessions. And on
after 3 sessions of Reiki.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And then
in Ireland.
In Ireland.
Okay.
And then I got like.
And at that time you were like in corporate world. You were doing
Yes.
something else. What were you doing?
I was working in IBM as a financial administrator.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So,
financial administrator in IBM in Ireland.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as corporate as it can be.
And then also into more like IT service,
right.
IBM support as well.
Wow.
So,
amazing. So
yes.
you were having back pains and.
Yeah, and that's eased off, and then one day, one night, I woke up with this incredible stream of light that I didn't know who it was, but it was my inner being connecting to me.
You were having an awakening.
Yeah, there was
In
a
IBM.
small, yeah.
On
In
spreadsheets.
Ireland, yeah.
What were you seeing, man? On
No.
spreadsheets. Unicorn coming. What am I doing?
It was during the night. It was a really powerful experience, and I learned so much
Where in
from
Ireland? In Dublin?
it. In Dublin.
So proper city life.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I was in a very natural environment as well.
Okay.
And Ireland holds this kind of nature as here. So really interesting Celtic traditions, and
Right.
it really matured me in a very interesting way on the Celtic ways of shamanism. And,
Really? And
then,
this came that time as well, Celtic stuff?
yeah.
Oh, really?
So Reiki came, and then I started to get this beautiful awakening process, and then I went into shamanism, and I worked with. I did some body work because I wanted a good balance between body and then spirit through Reiki. And then I started to do a lot of mindful practices like martial arts, Qigong, Tai Chi.
All in Ireland.
All in Ireland. Everything happened in Ireland. It was one of the most powerful stays in this
So
world.
you were still in your job and you started exploring this as something that you were learning and practicing, right?
Yes, I was learning this, but
So there was a transition
There was a
slowly
transition.
happening
that accelerated actually
later.
later, yeah.
Okay.
With an offer within the company for me to work for Monsanto.
Right, agriculture company.
Yeah, but that is involved in so many pesticides and MSG and also changing the
So Monsanto offered you a
genetic
job.
manipulation stuff.
Right. And then you were like, what? What happened? And this is when you were.
Yeah. It was an outsourcing company,
Okay.
and within that outsourcing company, I had to work. This was one of my tasks, to work with that company. And they said, yeah, one day they said, hey, you have to work and train for Monsanto. And I completely said no. I said, I don't work for this company, and I will stand my ground. And then when my contract finished, I decided
Leave.
to completely leave and to open my holistic services.
So at that time, were you, because many people, especially during, this was when? How long ago was this?
That was in 2012.
2012. This is a long time ago, but many people during COVID, especially, did a lot of this transition, right? From they were doing their jobs, and COVID happened, and they started going more into healing journeys because they were going through many things, and then many of them decided to, kind of start businesses in holistic services, right? So now I want to bring an important question, which is basically, how do you maintain the authenticity of having the business in a holistic service, let's say wellness industry, because it's an industry now, proper industry, but it's also a sacred science of spirituality in it, right? From the ancient roots of shamanism, yoga, Reiki, all these different things, that are so many of them, Tai Chi, Qigong, all this stuff. So now how do you, as a person who made that switch a while ago, long time ago, create that balance where your offering is a service, stay holy, at the same time it's capitally balanced for your own living and way of life, which is also very embodied in the spiritual way of life.
Mm-hmm.
So both are working in, of course, balance. Like nothing can be perfect all the time. We're figuring things out. But what would you like to share with people who are trying to maybe force it or not force it, but are struggling with it, not able to figure out their place in this industry, at the same time are also not in it, but then they're like, there's a lot going on. I feel like there's a lot of fragmentation in this space, right? And then everybody's somehow connected to this space because nowadays everybody's doing meditation, something, or if they're not doing something, that means they know yoga. It's not some hippies doing it in the 60s in the beaches, it's like all mainstream now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but mainstream brings a lot of confusion, fragmentation, and distortion as well. So how do you operate under this massive kind of ecosystem to be ensuring your ecosystem as an individual and what you are creating stays holy?
That's a really good question. Thank you. Well, the main thing is for me is to really connect people into their heart-centered consciousness, and really guiding them into this space. That for me is the most precise information and wisdom that flows from there, and that is actually my guiding. Actually, what I put forward is that it's all heart-centered, heart-based.
How do you ensure, and this is very important, I think, for people to understand, how do you ensure you stay in the heart-centered space and aligned for such a long period of time? Because you've been doing this for like now, what, over 12, 14 years. So that's a long time for not just your own refinement, but staying. And of course, nobody's perfect. We have our humanity, and we need to. And this, I want to ask you this as well. Like, how do you first ensure this stays as the base, the heart center, and how do you ensure your shadows, your own inner demon work, all this stuff is constantly getting integrated into this? Because it's a journey figuring that out.
Yes.
And it's always a journey. It's endless for all of us. But how do we kind of bring back the human element into this, and also the realistic element, but also that clean, disciplined sadhana element that you have to kind of do to ensure the long-term stability of it?
Mm-hmm. Well, mainly routines. My routines are very steady.
Can you share more about that? Like, what kind of routines? What are you doing? What do you keep steady? Like, what are your uncompromisable kind of like functionalities or things that are you doing to keep your balance or your alignment?
Mm-hmm. Well, it starts from waking up. And already in the bed, I have like a routine where I'm really centralizing my nervous system, connecting myself to my heart space already, with gratitude as well, and then coming out of the bed and starting straight away a practice of Qigong, stretching, light stretching, loosening up, and then going into a Qigong practice, which really roots me in the present moment, and also really connected to the Mother Earth, to really anchor in that in the planetary consciousness. This is very important for me, as I can travel as well. So then, through the practice, through breath and movement, my chi starts to get stronger and stronger, and then eventually this pure beingness emanates, and then I can use it in flow, and then I use Tai Chi afterwards as well, which is a more flowing sadhana.
Can you share Qigong, Tai Chi as modalities of how you practice, how you teach? What are they, where they come from in brief, in respects to yoga, let's say, which most people understand, and prana shakti, right? Indian cosmological words. In that regards as well, to bring more clarity into these modalities so people can understand better, and not just their benefits, but how they keep you in your harmonious center, how do they work with your nervous system, and how do they keep you in a heart center, how do they keep your energy as a force, Shakti. So please share more about that.
Okay. Well, those practices, especially Qigong, most of the practices I've learned in Ireland. So, but they were transferred by some gurus from China.
Different masters.
From different masters.
Most of your masters were Chinese?
No. There was like different cultures actually.
Right.
And then there was Irish, South Africa. So nice mix. Yeah. That actually, he went to Japan. He went to learn from the masters.
So Qigong, you learned from him.
Yeah.
Okay. He was your master.
I had three masters
of Qigong.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So one with all different flows of Qigong. So I started to really realize that then according to the chakras, they talk more about lower dantian, the middle dantian, the upper dantian, to store the specific energies that are needed, to store them in the dantian, and then to gradually start using it within your daily flow.
Basically, like learning how to first work with your energy, then contain it,
Okay.
and then utilizing it better,
Exactly.
right? So basically, I want to also, with this, because we're talking about chi, chi is like prana. You know, prana is the breath that we control through our energetic system, and this energetic system is something that, you know, yoga and all these ancient practices of always focusing as the primary system. Even Kriya Yoga, all these practices are always focusing on yoga, energy, and even body as a tool for connecting with consciousness as God, right? So now I want to understand from your perspective, how would you explain to somebody this energetic system as intelligence? And when you connect with your chi, as not just your guiding force for the body, but your guiding force for light, love, heart space, and life, everything you do in life. Like, how to anchor the breath as the primary, let's say, abundance mechanism, right? Because it is our abundance mechanism, it's the source of life.
Mhm.
So how do you explain that to people? How do you do that? And how do you see it? Like this whole system of intelligence, of breath, energy, you know, which is basically all these masters have mastered it, and then they're sharing it. So take us, instead of like mind to consciousness, take us from consciousness to energy system to mind in terms of how this works.
Well, in essence, the breath of life that is always invoked in this is going through the nose mostly. And it's really about creating more and more rooted presence in our body through the breath of life, and then through the movement and the breath to really start to become more aware of the fine elements, the chi around you and within you. So then it starts to evolve and to open up and open up. And by stabilizing it, by really rooting it down into the ground and connecting to certain meridian lines as well, activating meridian lines as
Are
well.
they connected with Nadi system, meridian lines?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
So
So when you connect with, let's say, these meridian lines, the energetic lines, and you're activating the chi more and more, and you're moving that to those nadis, which is connected to nervous system.
Yeah.
This is how you start regulating your nervous system more.
Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
And if you have more regulated nervous system, then what happens?
Then your spatial awareness and the connection to chi is being experienced. Life force and energy is being experienced within the body.
Now, how does that translate for somebody, let's say, who's listening to this first time on a material experience right now? Like, how will that change the experience of matter or the 3D reality or their immediate reality right away?
Well, their neurological system will definitely ease down, and their ability to stay really present to the moment and to feel their body more. There's a huge body awareness experience happening. So that is really helping them to, on so many levels, to relax the body and then to start opening up gently the feeling of chi, the feeling of energy that is surrounding them, to experience that more. So that's the way that it goes from the relaxation of the body through all the organs, through all fascia and all of that, then to express it more into transforming it into chi and starting to really connect and focus to the places where chi is stuck. So they are becoming more and more aware of that, and then they can direct the energy towards that, and also let it automatically go into flow.
And then what happens? Let's say, what happens to their bodies, what happens to their lives when they're starting to implement this more and more steady, regularly as a sadhana, like you do? What happens? What's the magic?
The mind definitely is completely relaxed, and they are operating more from high base connection and more awareness of their whole body in a holistic way.
Then it increases their creativity, productivity.
It's
Like-
more life force energy and their vitality.
So
It
they
feels
live
more-
longer,
Yes.
they live healthier
Yes.
without going to
Longevity.
doctors.
Yeah.
Wow, so you're saying they have to go to doctors less.
Yes, for sure.
Just with energy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but look at me. I'm 47 now.
You're already 47.
So, and I'm practicing it daily for years now. And that's something that has never shifted. And even if I forget through some circumstances, I will still do it later in the day. But a solid habit, a solid morning routine makes the change. You know? And that's what I'm then also transferring to people, like as a practice, to really daily practice it and make a morning routine. That's
incredible.
Yeah.
Nice. So, moving from Qigong, let's come more to shamanism, because that is also another of your expertise. When we talk about shamanism, it's become a very trendy term nowadays. But let's say decoding shamanism in an authentic sense, I'll share it with you, and you please bring more light and understanding for it. It's basically just being in connection with earth, elements, plants, as a way of intelligence. Basically, we're going from first, we talked about chi, the breath. Now we're going into how that breath works with our energy to keep us healthy, more aligned, more relaxed, but creative and productive and stable. Right now, we're going into the shamanism aspect, which you can think of its plants, natural elements, earth, medicines, Ayurveda, all these different things, even plants that are, coming from indigenous traditions with psychoactive components, which are becoming very popular, have become very popular, like ayahuasca, like mushrooms, CBD oils, all these things have become not just popularized but also fully commercialized now, right? So, which also gives birth to a lot of distortion, fragmentation, and abuse and escapism, which are obviously the byproducts as well. But also, there's the other side, which is the healing, the genuine relationship with plants, and the whole natural environment of things. All of these kind of things. So, I want to talk more just on the basics of it as to how would you, in your understanding, break the myth and distortion and imaginations around shamanism to really connect somebody not from some plant medicine kind of imaginary window, but just like on a very basic raw level, connected to people and indigenous people as well? How would you describe it?
Well, shamanism is definitely a very earthy experience. So it's all about connecting to the natural ways and connecting to the spirits, the animal spirits, the connection to all the what is called Northwest, and this is very important, that connection, and to demystify it a little bit is. It's not easy to find your shaman or a really really good shaman, because there are so many, and I understand that's somehow the distortion as well, and how to find the right shaman is someone that needs to really do hard-based decision on this.
But like, let's say, what is a right shaman? How would you categorize a right shaman or a right teacher? Because there's so many teachers and shamans out there now. So for somebody who's truly seeking it, not to become a shaman or become a teacher, but to go deeper into it for their own healing or understanding, what would you tell them?
I would definitely have connection with different shamans and really start feeling them. For me, it came naturally. It came through some conversations, and then I could feel, hey, this is a person that is really is on top of things, and is really connected to nature, because you can feel that. And through people that are really connected to earth, that really can work with earth as well, and that they're maybe like have something of a farmer inside of them. Those people I would trust the most because they're really so connected to Mother Nature. And Mother Nature
is calling.
Is calling as well.
Wow.
So I would say, yeah, to really trust someone that is heavily connected with Mother Earth in so many ways. I have an interview with this person several times.
How would you say an action that like a person like that? How does it say when you see, not the person but their life? How does it look like? How they're living? What is shamanism in practice, daily life?
First of all, connecting daily, having a daily practice where there's connection to Mother Earth, to the elements, to the spirit guides. Having that daily practice, that would be already a start, and then connecting with a lot of time in nature, really connecting to nature, going on these. A good shaman could be also someone that goes to places to completely release the tension or the distortions in the land. They do this as well. They use a lot of deities as well to do this. So
how are they these kind of shamans right now? Like, what do you think their role is in breaking the distortions and fragmentations and kind of bringing back more balance into the commercialization of the plant medicine scene? Nothing against commercialization, but like how to not make it an escape thing, but really integrate it into daily life for people, kind of process, and in terms of healing, and that's it, nothing more than that, and like really balancing it out. How would you say is like, because this is a very important one. Many people are struggling with this, and I see this personally as a kind of this point where it's at a like the whole thing is at a point where you need a lot of discernment and clarity around all this stuff, because so many people are working with plant medicines now around the world, and their legalization is happening around the world, right? The trend is clear, but at the same time, the system that made it illegal hundreds of years ago, the colonizing systems, they are still there in so many ways. So people are not decolonized mentally yet. So everything is like working from a place of, oh, is it medicinal or escape? So the spirit part of it, the consciousness part of it, is not where they're working with. And shamans always work with spirit first. Breath, spirit, energy kind of is their main triangle they work with first. That's why they're so connected to earth. So like, how do you see this journey of fragmentation and distortion and commercialization? Where's the clarity in it coming, and balance of all these things? What do you see in that?
it's a little bit disconcerting, I would say, that there's so much out there, and that the education around it, or the stability of someone that is holding spaces and they proclaim to be a shaman, but they are in essence not really. That is disconcerting a little bit, but then at the same time, having there's communities, and there's like platforms as well where it's like regulated as well for people, to go to a proper shaman. There are these systems in place already, but it's definitely an interesting subject, this shamanism at the moment.
Yeah, big one.
And I feel a good questionnaire is very important when someone starts want to do a journey or something, whatever plant medicine. That there must be a questionnaire with a lot of information, so that the information has been taken in and can be analyzed, and that sometimes precautions need to be made, because that happened in my experience as well. And so that shows me that the person is really a serious person and can be trusted, because they make you fill out a questionnaire and health assessment form and stuff. So that's very important.
Now, coming back to you, you work with cacao.
Yeah.
So for people who think cacao is just a chocolate powder, please explain ceremonial cacao to them, cacao ceremonies to them, and how cacao is also growing into this ceremonial scene around the world, with kirtans and all this kind of becoming really popularized everywhere, like cacao ceremonies. But then how to keep them also very authentic, ritualistic, not just money oriented, but really like deep as an experience. Also respecting the plant, really working from zero to up. So explain your process with it, and explain how if somebody is in cacao ceremony modality, like how would you suggest them as some checks to have to ensure that they are working with the plant in a respectful way, and people, and what's your view and your, I wouldn't say strategy, but your way of working with the plant?
Yeah, I'm really tuned in with the plant of cacao, because I have already roots that are in Belgium, and cacao is very popular in Belgium, chocolate.
Yeah.
But to really experience the consciousness of the plant, that has been a shift. So when you come from being grown up with a lot of cacao and chocolate, and then being shown the really powerful ways of this medicine.
Can you talk about this, because I really want to. Many people, and especially in India, I know they don't know cacao is what we are talking about.
Okay.
They think they don't even understand. They think it's a chocolate. So please explain to them the power of ceremonial cacao, and this that you do, because Qigong and all people can understand through breath and Reiki, but let's talk more about this ceremonial cacao, the quality, the process, what it really is, and its power in the healing journeys, and for people to really understand what we are talking about.
Yes. So cacao has been there's different processes, and so the cacao bean is being extracted and dried under the sun, and then it's fermentating, and then it's being crushed, and the power of the sun charges this cacao as well, ferments it, and then through this fermentation they can make the paste, and they really crush the beans, and then when it's crushed, it becomes like paste, beautiful paste of cacao, and that paste then, through processes, during the whole processes, there is a lot of shamanic rituals as well. And here in Bali, it's done differently. It's with prayers, Hindu prayers. So it's all really fine-tuned and
with the cacao you're sourcing.
Yes.
Right. So it's a very ritualistic process, even where cacao is coming. And then how does it play into these ceremonies? What happens?
Well, when you start to really connect, there's a lot of process during a cacao ceremony. But when the people are really connecting to it truly, and so there's an elixir that is made from that paste with a tea infusion that is depending on the day, of course, and the intuition that comes. That tea infusion then is being mixed with cacao, purely cacao. There's no tempering, or there's no sugar in it. It's used properly and purely. So in that process, then there's a lot of blessings as well that is being done. Icaros that has been chanting when in the preparation of this beautiful elixir. So and all the intentions are there, and then people start to drink it in a meditative state, and they start to really tune into the consciousness of cacao, and tune into all actually the layers of it, what it can provide, the intention settings. But it's all about, it's a heart-based connection, so it's all connecting the cacao and its consciousness to guide us into explore ourselves, into really opening up to the heart's wisdom, and from that heart's wisdom going into the field of pure potentiality. So it's really about coming home into the body as well. It's a very
What
grounding
happens to people after
experience.
these ceremonies?
They feel more elated, in a really good state, but have had some inspiration during the ceremonies that can guide them further on their path.
Right.
Some people came back to me and I never understood, but they really completely changed their career paths after that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
And you know about, so I don't know if you know about the history, but cacao was revered so much by Aztecs and Mayans and Incas.
It was a currency.
It was a currency.
Yeah.
So like our whole money system that we know, it was their money system.
Yeah.
Cacao.
Yes.
What's your take on this? But it was a money currency, not just as trade. They revered it as like a medium of God.
Yeah.
Right. So what's your take on that for cacao and because you're completely connected to it as a ritual, right? Except
Yes.
that there's no god or temple in place, not yet. But how do you see that missing piece of the puzzle? Like, let's say next evolution of cacao ceremonies, what does that look like in relation to this history I just shared with you?
Mhm.
That people may not know about, some may know about. These are one of the most sophisticated civilizations,
Yes.
right? Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas,
Mhm.
right? Built amazing things, and cacao was their main currency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So share more about that, please.
Yeah, and so the cacao is very stimulating. It has stimulating effects, and it also elates, connects us to the brain. With the bromine, it's really creating opening up our happy hormones, and really helping us to stay on point. And in that way, that they really use this for invigorating themselves in their daily lives, to become also creative, but also really strong.
How did that affect their civilizations? Because they built crazy things in those times, right? What was the connection of cacao with their civilizational imprints, their civilizational structures, even social structures or tribe structures or whatever? What's the connection of cacao for them? What's your intuition and view about it?
It was their gateway to connecting to their own divinity and to God, and that really helped them to become really tuned in more and more to that heart-based civilization already. So, and to revere their gods through that as well. It's an offering to themselves, but also to the gods. And I feel like creating this connection with this cow has been incredibly powerful for them to utilize it in their civilization. But I don't really have in-depth information around that.
Yeah, I'm asking your intuition about it. Because I really feel nowadays, especially, I'm talking about simple plants like coffee, cacao, blue lotus, teas, all these things that you can find everywhere in the world. Now they're so popularized. And wherever things are legalized, it's like they're also accessible. So the influence of plant consciousness, I'm not even talking about medicine, like plant consciousness is influencing whole of humanity all the time in one way or the other.
Yes.
Right? So how do we work better with this plant consciousness in a way where we are able to work with the worldly systems of today, right? And the earthly systems of the past. So if we even just track our story, it started from, Gong, nature, to breath, Qigong, to energy system, Reiki. Then we talked about, heart opening, cacao, routine, all of this. And now we're talking about civilizations.
Mhm.
and cacao is a trade currency. And so now, how do we talk about today's time, where all of this is kind of happening in its own way, but it's connected to this big system of money and world economy
Yes.
and nations, right? What we call globalized system. We're all connected to it somehow or the other. Now, how does that play out all of this in regards to this world? Where do you see? What do you see? What do you think is going on from your completely your lens? I'm not saying it has to be right or wrong,
Mhm.
but just share your view, Javier's view.
Yeah, so it's still like a plant that comes from the earth, and its consciousness is being transferred. And through having that connection to the land, to Mother Nature, to the planetary consciousness, this is really helping us to root ourselves as well in heart centered consciousness through this plant. So I think the more we do it, even when we do it not in the most present way, there is still the transferring of wisdom is still happening for sure, and it is powerful. So I feel that this is a very gentle plant medicine that can be used many people by just everywhere. It becomes very commercial, but it has its potency anyway.
Yes, yes.
So I feel that it really helps us to connect to the grid lines of Mother Earth, to connect more to our heart space, our heart base, and to become more, present and aware of who we truly are.
Can you explain these grid lines to me? What are these grid lines? And for people who are, let's say, don't even believe in energy, how would you explain these grid lines to them? What are they?
Yeah, there are specific lines and points, interconnected points within the Earth that is really that have really a lot of influence. Each point localized in specific places in the Earth is helping. It's a bit like ley lines almost, and they interconnect us to the globality of the totality of Mother Earth and its potency. So by really connecting through that consciousness and connecting energetically to that, we we reflect what we actually are. We are the reflection of Mother Earth. So we are really connecting and making a symbiosis between ourselves and Mother Earth, to engage more with her, to really work alongside the ways of nature, to respect it more, to come in sync with it. And that automatically changes us in our consciousness and is helping. So these plant medicines are really reminding us of that we are intrinsically connected to Mother Earth, and that we can purely function in full presence with her when we utilize these types of ceremonies.
All right. So now going on to the Mother Earth aspect and the more practical uh, ground level action as well. You're also connected to recycling plastic waste projects. Um, how do you see um, where is this industry going? Because trash is such a huge problem everywhere, especially in Asia, in India, in Bali, in Indonesia, in Thailand, everywhere in Asia. Maybe not in Japan or in China, but other places trash is a huge problem, and we are here to fix it. So, and you are already in this field very much so, and please share a bit about it.
Yeah. So this project that I'm in is it's an industrial project that is international, and it's Corsair Group that is making so many machines that are converting plastic plastic into a crude oil, into a bio-advanced oil.
Right.
So
Which is where it
creating-
comes from. So it's bringing
Yes.
it back to its original form.
Yes,
Right.
and then to recycle it and to really go into a recycling economy.
Yeah.
And that's
And where are they
circular-
making these machines, and
circular
where are they
economy.
putting them?
They're mainly now in Europe and in Bangkok.
Okay.
Bangkok, one of the biggest facilities.
And these machines are big or small? They can be put in like anywhere, or
They're-
how does it work?
Depends on the scale, but they're always made big because there's so much trash that needs to be.
So basically,
converted.
let's say governments or private organizations could buy such a machine from them, put it in their place, and start
No.
doing no.
That is not how it works.
How it
but
works.
It's really about them taking over.
So it's like a
pioneering.
company that you go to for a service.
Yeah.
And they do it for you,
They do it.
and you pay a fixed fee. How does it work?
No, it's like people are contributing in this. It's a service that they are delivering, so that you can companies that will need to become plastic neutral in the next few months or maybe year.
So it's a service for them.
It's a service for them where plastic is being converted, and then it's a product. That product is the service, and then out of this service comes another product that is being resold to oil companies.
Explain me their business model in like 5 steps. Easily.
You can either become when I as a partner work, I invite people to the company. It's a networking company.
They're using you as for marketing.
Yes.
Right.
So and I'm bringing in people that want to contribute in plastic neutral packages, services that removes plastic and then converts it in bio-advanced oil, and then from there they can decide to become an active partner or to be a customer, and that also their companies can be we calculate actually the offset of plastic waste from the company, and then they decide based on that calculation that they can become plastic neutral.
So they're basically an alternative to the older plastic companies by providing products that are going to be recycled. But same products, more or less.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same problem.
But cheaper, same cost, or what is it?
Well, it's gonna be like it's gonna be really interesting because it's gonna involve cheaper. I don't know actually, to be honest.
I'm not sure.
But it's more like we're involving every part. We're involving the locals from for example Bali or from Thailand, the fishermen to collect when they're fishing also plastic, and then to bring it to the plant, to bring it to the machines where it's sorted.
And they get some profit from it.
Yes.
To do that.
Yeah.
And then this is offered to the companies as a byproduct.
Exactly.
Right. But the companies, let's say, who are using some plastic products from a company right now, who are not doing any of this, for them to transition into this kind of company, is it profitable the same?
Well, the
or
part,
you don't know that yet?
the part that I haven't unveiled yet is that there is a plastic credit connected to it. So the plastic credit is a digital commodity that is on the blockchain, sorry.
Okay.
And on the blockchain, so that as it's an emerging market, and as plastic will have to become plastic neutrality have to become mandatory, then this emerging market will skyrocket, and then the value
they're giving
of those
them like
plastic credits,
right.
it's like a little bit like the carbon credits.
Right.
So it will help to stimulate this market.
But this
So
is
that
plastic
everyone-
credits that they are, the company itself is issuing as coins, or
as coins. It's not really token, but it's
No.
more like as you buy electricity or something.
right.
It's a digital commodity, but you buy you contribute to a plastic neutral package connected to that. For example, for 56 kilos of waste, you will have like an amount of plastic credits that is connected to that, and so those plastic credits will have value after
Where is this company from? I mean,
it's based in Holland and in Bangkok.
Bangkok, and they are expanding now. They're getting more clients.
They're getting a lot of and a lot
So
of
it's
more.
the initiation is Dutch company.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's also Bangkok based.
Right.
So they have
they have Asia
and Europe.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing
well,
is,
Asia is the biggest market for trash, and America.
yeah, exactly.
America and Asia produces the most trash actually.
Yes. And there is also an involvement towards America. So they're being also
Yeah,
welcomed.
trash is the new economy for sure.
Yeah. So
Cool.
So this is an incredibly powerful and depolluting the planet also whilst you are earning some income is very stimulating. So yeah.
Okay, so now we come to more personal part. Javier, tell us more about your personal journey. How do you see romance? How do you see life? How do you want to live with your friends? How do you interact with people? How do you manage healthy relationships? Because you're very good at you're a very good community builder and preserver. So, and this is something actually we don't realize it and take it for granted nowadays, but young people really struggle with relationships, like all forms of relationship, right? So if you can share more light on that, like more as a kind of just as a casual conversation now about, you can ask me about things as well about this, because we can just talk about it now that we have covered like the main informational knowledge-based stuff, which I feel is really important for people to understand and get clarity on. But like now, just about personal stuff. What do you like? What's your view about life in that way? Where are you at?
I'm still constantly evolving and integrating but enjoying life as well. Being here in Bali is nice. It's really, especially Ahmed, to snorkel, to be in contact with nature, to have weekly ecstatic dances, connecting to so many people in the community. It's great. It tries to really stabilize this community in Ahmed.
For someone who hasn't lived in like alternative communities, I've been living in these communities for like all my life, more or less, last 10 years. So for somebody who's never experienced this, how would you kind of give them a description of it,
Description of being in Bali.
Being in Bali, living like the way you're
Yeah.
living, how would you give them a brief about it?
Yeah, the more you cultivate awareness and deepening your awareness every day during your morning practice and going into the ocean and connecting, eating good foods as well, and a healthy lifestyle here, living cheaply as well somehow is it's very conducive to this life full of presence.
Do you think that happens naturally when we go from non-consumption mode to more self-energizing mode?
It's gradual.
Gradually.
It's very gradual, but it can very much accelerate when you put those ancient practices into the modern practices as well, and to combine them and to really live life with a morning ritual and routine.
Because if we look at the world, like the majority of the world, they're so drained in the consumption cycle. Like the energy is just going into buying this, eating, shopping, Amazon, this. I mean, I'm living without SIM card now 2 months, I'm figuring it out. It's quite alright. I haven't used Amazon in like 3 months. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like we talk cheap living, but then it's also basically more need-based living, right? Where you're consuming less and you're increasing your energy because of practices, and then you are also implementing and doing things creatively out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a creative living almost. and in
Yes.
balance. So, how do you see like this as something that is the need of the hour almost? Why?
The need of the hour.
Yeah. Is it?
It
the
is.
need- Is it the need of the hour?
Yes. I feel it's like it's so important to now in this acceleration on planet Earth with everything that is happening on it to really cultivate strong practices and living your life with full awareness and presence. And
But how do people who are so ingrained in the consumption cycles, living in these big cities, working corporate gigs, and they're in it, they cannot get out, whatever the reason. They love it too, maybe, let's say. How do they cultivate this? How? It's a big question.
Yes, that's a big question, but I think coming out of their comfort zones and traveling to places like Indonesia and Bali and places where there's a lot of there's possibility to transform, that would be already good. Would be a good step, but if not possible, it's like really integrating more presence in their lives, in their daily lives, and to create, even if it's like 10 minutes of meditation or practice.
Just start.
Just start like that,
And start from where, even YouTube or like,
yeah,
what can help.
on YouTube there's so many places, yeah.
But then this is the thing, with so much information out
Yes.
there, it's also distortion, right? So how do you? It's not easy, man. Like easy in the sense like nothing is easy, I guess. But I feel like there's just so much information out there about everything now that for people to really get kind of what they need, they have to first just tune in, but they're not tuned in. So they're in this vicious cycle where they're not tuned in, and there's so much things. So they're like they're juggling. So they're just confused and like disoriented and distraught. And I've been there, so I understand totally. So it's a
I think
hard circle to break out of.
yes, but it can be as as simple as going really extent of times in nature and connect to a park or whatever, or a tree, and connect to the presence of Mother Nature. That
And just take a
already,
break from phone.
yes,
I just leave the phone down and go away without it.
exactly. Creating that little schedule of pure presence in nature, that's important, and to have it consistently done is gonna open up our intuition, which then will be so much clearer. We'll have like a clear head, and it's possible to do it, but there needs to be consistency in the practice as well. So, and that's probably not always easy, knowing someone that has been so much connected to work and 9 to 5, and being busy and looking so much on the phone and distracting themselves. Yeah, it is hard, but just dedicating yourself 10 minutes a day, devoting yourself to that, can make a huge difference. That's how I started, actually, to be honest. With a meditation practice, it was actually 7 minutes a day, and I did it consistently.
You can write a book, from 7 minutes a day to unknown.
Yeah.
To the sea. 7 minutes to the sea.
But yeah,
that's a nice title. 7
Yeah.
minutes to the sea. 7 minutes to the sea.
yeah.
I like that. So share your little bit of more wisdom for listeners. Anything coming up for you that you would like to share? Any questions for me? What's coming up for you, man?
Okay. I would say that.
We got a cat there. Look at her.
Oh wow.
She's in samadhi.
Yes. She's channeling.
Yeah, she's channeling for sure.
Well, yeah, it's I would say, connection through your feet to the earth. Barefoot.
This is the big one, huh? Feet,
Barefoot.
bare feet.
Yeah.
Ground.
Really grounding.
Grounding, guys.
Yes, grounding is
for me as well. Grounding.
The more we have that connection, the more we cultivate some really deep presence, and that's the breath is also the one that
Animals
helps us.
too, huh? By the way, animals.
Yeah.
being with animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Very grounding.
And they have so much wisdom to share, and they can be so empathic.
Especially cats.
Yes.
Especially cats.
So yeah, living your life with this more, like barefoot, connecting to the breath of life, starting to cultivate some through yoga, through Qigong, through meditation, to really connect to that and take it easy. Take baby steps first, and let yourself be guided by that. And once we're really tuned in and tapped into our heart, there's so much wisdom flowing from that. And we go from the next expansion to the next expansion. And we root ourselves then at the same time. It's just incredible. We become more from a victim consciousness, we can transform it to a fully empowered consciousness, heart-centered, heart-based society. So yeah, this is it's simple, because it's really starting to revert the lens, because there's so many people that are looking outside of themselves and trying to figure out so many practices. And okay, that's good, but also turning the lens towards ourselves, doing some introspection is, I would say, most important. It's the most direct way to illumination. So yeah, that's what it is. I feel simplicity of just being is beautiful.
That's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, my brother Javier. Simplicity of being. Thank you
Yes.
for joining us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.